What's up, everybody? Joe White here. About to kick back and relax for the evening, but I wanted to mention one thing tonight. Apparently, Bubba the Love Sponge. As you guys know, I have an affinity for radio. I have utmost respect for everybody who's ever dared to go get a communications degree or ever dared to step behind a microphone um, and do this, whether it be podcasting, internet radio, terrestrial radios, even satellite radio, Howard. Um, you kind of gotta show a little, even though Howard Stern's a piece of crap. You kind of have a little shred of respect for what he's done and the millions he's been able to trick people out of. There's nobody better at it than Howard Stern. He is truly the king of all media in that way. Um, God, that sounded like Christopher Walken. He's the king of media in that way. Anyway, it's a horrible Walken. Um, but Bubba the Love Sponge kind of has a crazy story. Um, Pretty much been in Florida the whole time. Started off doing stuff in Tampa. He befriends Hulk Hogan. He kind of gets national syndication. Um, Continues his relationship with Hulk Hogan. Then goes over to um, Sirius Satellite Radio, where for a period of time he shared the Howard 101 channels, Howard 100, Howard 101. You would first hear Howard Stern's show, then you would hear the wrap up show, and then Bubba would be on in the afternoon. Bubba and Howard were kind of tight until the whole sex scandal thing with Hulk Hogan happened, and that snowballs into the Gawker lawsuit. And to hear Bubba tell his side of the story is kind of interesting. He did not leak the tape. Um, his One of his employees went on the air by the name of Spice Boy, who was I believe his producer. His version of Gary Delabate, if you will, found the DVD drive or the DVD drive, no, the DVD of the tape in Bubba's desk, made a copy of it or stole it, whichever you choose to believe, but he got his hands on it and basically was trying to sell it to the highest bidder, even though he did not own it, did not have permission to distribute it. Because before you go selling people's likenesses off like that, you got to get paperwork done. Anyway, that leads into the Gawker lawsuit, which ruins Bubba's career. Bubba the Love Sponge is pretty much never to be seen or heard from again. He would go back to be doing. He would go back to do radio in Florida for a bit. Still does a podcast today, I believe. He goes on YouTube every day. Um, but that's inspired Bubba the Love Sponge to team up with Waltz Films. More on Waltz in a minute. Um, and they made a documentary called "Video Killed the Radio Star" about the rise and fall of Bubba the Love Sponge and getting the true story out there. Well, the estate of the late great Hulk Hogan, I shouldn't say late great, but depends on who you ask. The late Hulk Hogan, who is let me see here. This would be Nicholas Balea, who is Hulk Hogan's son Nick, and Terry McCoy. Um, they sued Bubba the Love Sponge because apparently they want their money. You know how crazy is this? The man's been dead months now, and we're thank God for Brooke. Thank God Brooke chose to step away from this and not be a part of this stuff. Brooke called into Bubba's show after Hulk died, and go look it up. Go look up Bubba the Love Sponge Brooke Hogan from this year. She says she was there. It was there where she said, "Hey, I think there's some foul play going on here with my dad's death," which there's been an open now. I think the state of Florida, along with Brooke and everybody else, have opened up an investigation into Hogan's death. and how his medical treatment was handled there at the end and even before. But Brooke doesn't want any part of this stuff. This is the stuff Brooke was trying to avoid, and good on her, man. So apparently, this is you know, PW Insider got issued this press release, and I'm going to read this here. It says for immediate release by Waltz Films. Settlement reached in Hogan Estate versus Clem and Waltz Films. Tampa, Florida, October 24th, 2005. The parties in the matter of Terry McCoy and Nicholas Balea. I don't know who Terry McCoy is, but okay. As personal representatives of the state of Terry G. Balea, aka Hulk Hogan, versus Bubba the Love Sponge Clem, pending in the United States District Court for the Middle District of the Florida Tampa Division, have signed a settlement agreement. Waltz Films LLC, which intervened as a co-defendant in the action, was also a party to the settlement. The settlement follows the court's December 22nd, 2025 order dissolving the court's previously entered temporary restraining order and denying the estate's injunction to prevent the publication of the documentary entitled Video Killed the Radio Star. Produced by Waltz Films, Video Killed the Radio Star sheds light on how the unlawful publication of a video showing Balea's intimate relations with Clem's wife occurred during a volatile era in Tampa's radio war landscape. The film is available for purchase or rental on iTunes, Amazon Prime, and Google Play. Reaching the settlement allows all parties to put legal processes behind them and ensures the film can be viewed in its intended form, said a spokesman for Waltz Films. Now, here we're going to get a little bit about the film. Video Killed the Radio Star is a feature-length documentary examining the events surrounding the infamous invasion of privacy case, Balea versus Gawker, the media firestorm that followed, and the wider cultural and political fallout. Through archival footage, first-hand accounts, the film highlights both the exploitation and the human impact of the scandal, and features never-before-seen interviews and behind-the-scenes accounts. The film offers a comprehensive look of how the plot to remove one of the most infamous shock jocks in the world led to not only the bankruptcy of a media giant, but also the ensnarlment of the most famous professional wrestler in the world and ultimately the 47th president of the United States. So they're tying Trump into all this. Oy vey. I just get sick of hearing of Trump. I really do. I just get sick of hearing about the guy, whether it be good or bad. I'm sick of hearing his name. I'll be happy in 3 more years when the son of a bitch is forced to go away. That way we ain't got to look at him no more. We ain't got to, whatever. I just. Anyway, getting back to what the reason why I bring up Waltz Films is this sounds well. Let me play this clip of Mr. Waltz. There you go, Mr. Waltz. For those who don't know, there's a movie out there made in the late '70s called The Godfather about the mafia, and one of the Don of the mafia, Don Corleone, one of his quote unquote godsons, wants a role in a movie to help get his career jump started. The leader of the studio, Mr. Waltz, will not give him that lead role because apparently the guy who wants the role, his name is Johnny Fontaine, slept with and apparently ruined Waltz's biggest female talent at the time, which made Mr. Waltz, the guy who just woke up with the dead horse head in his bed, very angry. And that's what causes him not to want to give Johnny Fontaine the role. Um, the Godfather sends his consigliere, Tom Hagen, played by Robert Duvall, over to Mr. Waltz and to negotiate when Mr. Waltz stands his ground and says, no, The Godfather takes his pride horse, cuts its head off, and, well, you saw what happened. And eventually, Mr. Waltz wises up and gives Johnny Fontaine the role in the movie. So there you go. That's the whole. Now that I've spent about a minute and a half explaining the one of the plot points of The Godfather, go watch the movie. It's my second favorite movie of all time. It's probably the best, one of the best films ever made, from end to end. But yeah, I just thought Mr. Waltz inspired me to make this this video here. There really is a Waltz Films out there, folks. That's crazy, ain't it? But here's the thing. At the end of the day, man, you know, nobody cares about Bubba the Love Sponge anymore. Much like Howard Stern, how Howard Stern still gets money and gets deals and gets contracts renewed, which, if according to Howard, he really hasn't put pen to paper yet, I don't think. At least that's what he's telling people. Because he keeps saying, oh, if a deal comes through, I want ownership. I want ownership. Yeah, you want ownership. That way you know you got a nice little cushy nest egg for the rest of your life. Why you need it, I don't know, dude. But whatever. You already got more money than God. But I'm the point of all this is that, this documentary changes nothing. There have been umpteen documentaries made about the Gawker lawsuit and Hogan. Now, whether or not they've told it from the story of the guy's career, whose career it ultimately killed, no. And it's a good idea. It's a good concept. I don't think it's going to do what he really wants it to do, which is to make him money. Because let's face it, the man's probably broke. But and it seems like Bubba wants to be the new Joe Rogan so bad. There's interviews with him out there that he's done recently that just him spouting shit that makes no sense at all. No sense at all. Here's a guy who's trying so hard to be relevant, and he can't be relevant. He's past the point of no return when it comes to trying to be relevant again. It's just not going to happen. His biggest claim to fame and his reputation, whether he likes it or not, will always be the guy who let Hulk Hogan fuck his wife. That's it. Could have been anybody in that situation. It just so happened to be Bubba the Love Sponge, whose house, if you believe him, his security cameras picked it up when they weren't supposed to, or he didn't know until after the fact that it was taped. Dude, you knew. You knew it was taped. You knew that you could exploit Hulk Hogan with this one day. It's just that your producer stole the video and tried to beat you to it. That's all it is. So to Bubba, I say this: you need to go the way to the dodo, my friend. If you want to do your little YouTube show every day, go ahead. If you're still on the radio, go ahead. But, and I'm sorry about what happened to you. I mean, nobody deserves to have their property stolen, but shouldn't have been at the radio station to begin with. Go find a safe deposit box at a bank to lock the shit up at next time when you get something that valuable. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole documentary bit in the comments below. And we'll see you down the road.